It was a tough loss. The Seattle Kraken couldn't come up with another win at Climate Pledge Arena. They fall to the Dallas Stars in Game 4. Allison Lucan called it deja vu, but in reverse. And what of that goalie interference? Well, I think we can all agree with Jared McCann.
No idea what the hell goalie interference is anymore. I really don't. I don't.
All that and more coming up on this episode, this Wednesday episode of Locked On Kraken.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to Wednesday's episode of Locked On Kraken. This episode of the Locked On Kraken podcast, bringing you your team every day, is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. I'll teach you how to do that a little bit later in the show. All right. You heard from Jared McCann in our cold open. You've got the quote from Allison Lucan's story, deja vu in reverse. 6-3 loss to the Dallas Stars in game number 4, round 2, game 4 of the 2023 NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs. Now, thank you, as always, for making us a part of your daily routine. You can listen to us wherever you listen to audio podcasts. We appreciate those OGs who've been listening since we were audio only. We've also got our YouTube family growing, especially as we do our live watch parties, which we will do again tomorrow. And you can listen to Locked On Kraken and any other Locked On podcast on the Sirius SXM app. All you have to do is search Kraken and Locked On Kraken will pop up for you. Not the greatest performance. Philip Grubauer ends up making way for Martin Jones. This game, I talked in, if you watched Game to Game on the Locked On NHL channel, you know that I talked, of course, about special teams. The Seattle Kraken, they couldn't find a power play goal and gave up 2. And that's been uncharacteristic of this series. So that's the first statistic that really stood out to me after watching this game. The Seattle Kraken, that penalty kill, not looking so much like a power kill as we've seen in the past. But I mentioned in this episode is named after Allison Lucan's Final Buzzer article up called Final Buzzer, Deja Vu in Reverse. Quote, after a 5-goal second period in Game 3 earns a Kraken win, Dallas responds with 4 goals in the middle frame to earn a 6-3 win to tie the series 2-2. So the Dallas Stars did get the scoring started in the first period. That was Jamie Benn late in the first on the power play. I mentioned they had 2 of those. Pavelski would have a power play goal. That one hurt. Max Domi, great game. Not my favorite player, but he had a good game. Thomas Harley, Max Domi, Pavelski all score in the second frame. Jaden Schwartz broke things up for a little bit there, but then Rupe Hines gets on the board. Jaden Schwartz would once again get a goal in the third period. Adam Larson as well, but Max Domi would seal the deal with an empty net goal. Again, Philip Grubauer made way for Martin Jones. Thought Martin Jones did really well, but let me give you the actual numbers here. So Martin Jones saw 2 shots, saved 2 shots, 100%, 18 minutes, 15 seconds. In 40 minutes of work, Philip Grubauer himself, not as advantageous. We'll get to the goalie interference in a minute. A 7.73 save percentage, 17 saves, 22 shots faced, was 5 for 7 on the power play in particular. So not a great performance overall by the Seattle Kraken. I didn't think this was a Philip Grubauer, like not in the same way that Ottinger maybe kind of crapped the bed. I didn't think that that was the same situation. I do think that Philip Grubauer got a little bit rattled. I personally don't think it was goaltender interference. I do think that they made contact, but here's the thing. I think the embellishment, I do think it was an embellishment by Philip Grubauer might have hurt his chances. And because it was the embellishment that really had him out of position as opposed to the contact. I know you're trying to sell it, but come on, guy, you got to be careful with that. So I wasn't too put out by that. But again, let's hear what Jared McCann had to say. Now, he started on that fourth line. If you were watching with us live, then you know that he did mix things up a little bit here and there. But let's hear what McCann had to say about coming back. We haven't seen him in this series at all after taking that gnarly hit from Cale Makar in the round 1 series against the Colorado Avalanche. But here's Jared McCann.
I miss the guys. Just wish I, kind of could come back on better circumstances.
Jerry, they kind of flipped the script on you guys, especially in that second period. What was giving you guys trouble in this one? Can you break it down?
Took too many penalties. That's all I got.
Only 19 shots on goal tonight. What were they doing to make it difficult in front of the net?
Yeah, and they got in lanes, so they blocked a lot of shots. We got to do a better job of getting the goalie's eyes, and obviously we scored one at the end there. Lars did with a lot of net front traffic, so it was good.
Is there anything you take positive out of that third period, or you washed this one away?
We had some good offensive zone shifts. We worked the puck down low. It was good. Obviously scoring those goals was huge, but at the end of the day, we still lost.
What did you see on that goalie interference play? Just curious.
I have no idea what the hell goalie interference is anymore. I really don't. I don't think anybody does in this league. So, we thought it was like guaranteed a goalie interference. And obviously, Gruby, he made contact with Gruby, and then the puck went in. It was pretty obvious, but I don't know really else to say.
Jared, how did you feel like you were getting back into the flow of things with health-wise being out for a little bit, feeling into the flow and up to speed with the game as game's being done?
Yeah. Obviously, the first couple of shifts was a little tougher, but towards the end there, I felt really good.
So that's Jared McCann, again, coming back from an injury, what we believe is concussion protocol, but it was an undisclosed injury officially. Jared McCann, I thought he had an okay game. He talked a little bit about, that first period being a little rough. We talked about this on our watch party, but if you looked at the lines, Jared McCann was originally scheduled on that fourth line. And then he did eventually make his way up, with some minutes alongside Ty Cartier, Eberle and Beniers. And so we saw Ty Cartier mixing it up a little bit. In the chat, we were trying to decide, is this why the team felt a little bit out of sorts? I don't think so. I just think there were some defensive things that I didn't particularly like. And we knew there was going to be a bite. There was going to be a bite to Dallas coming into this game. And Seattle knew that as well, but maybe weren't as prepared as they would have wanted to be for that. But coming up next, let's get into a little bit more of what Allison Lucan said, and then I'll take you to what Jaden Schwartz had to say. But first, there is no I in team, but there is an I in Indeed. And if you are looking to hire, then you need Indeed. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. With Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. According to Indeed data, in the United States. So start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. This is an offer good only for a limited time. So claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/lockedon. Once again, that's Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Kraken a part of your daily routine. Now, you know, if you are an everydayer, that tomorrow is a game day. That's right. We're going to have another game day episode, and you're not going to want to miss it. We were also going to do our watch party. We had one on Tuesday. I was a little tardy to the watch party, but we will start at puck drop. Usually open the room about 15 minutes early, but I am away. This is my hotel room. And so I have some engagements that'll take me right to puck drop. So no fear, I will be on there, but just like you did last time, speak amongst yourselves until we can all party together. The Seattle Kraken have some work to do. Let's take you over to Allison Lucan. Really liked her article. Again, deja vu all over again, which is just hilarious. Oops, that's our Indeed article. Here we go. So again, the pushback, and this is what Allison Lucan gets into, enough to tie the series at 2 apiece. Dallas scored multiple power play goals in 4 of their 6 games in round 1, but the Kraken has stymied that. We just talked about that. But that was a different story in game 4. The Stars took over on the power play, Allison Lucan writes. Jamie Benn, Rupe Hintz, I always say his name wrong. They were really solid. And Max Domi, I mentioned Max Domi. He had 2 goals. He was very active. The physical game in front of net, the net front presence. I think the Seattle Kraken were late to some defensive assignments. So, that was a little tough. And then there was, of course, the goalie interference. Here's what Dave Haxtell had to say, quote, "Obviously, we challenged it because we felt like it was goaltender interference. The officials deemed it was not. So that's the call that was made. I didn't get an explanation on why it was a good goal, but I felt like Gruby got blown out of the crease, and regardless of the amount of time in between, to be able to reset was impossible. Gruby did not have a chance to do his job on that play. And as I look at it, never really got to reset. But it is what it is. Those calls are made and happen all the time." So the Seattle Kraken eventually did get a response. If you were watching with us in the on the live watch party, I really wanted them to get 2 goals. They ended up giving up that Domi goal, only got 1. But the Schwartz goal was massive. And I want to take you over to, oops, I forgot to get rid of this. Let's take you over to what Jaden Schwartz had to say after the game. He's been a pesky player. He's been a very pesky player in these playoffs. He's been playing below the goal line a lot, and I really like it. So here's what Jaden Schwartz had to say post-game.
Jaden, just kind of, what are your thoughts on this game and just kind of the way it went? Struggled to get shots on net there for the first 2 periods, the way that they were kind of coming at you. What would you kind of overall think of this one?
Well, we didn't get to our game until the 3rd period. They had a higher desperation to start the game, executed better. They were the more aggressive team, and we were on our heels and weren't able to get much going offensively and spending enough time in the O-zone. Then in the 3rd, we could have scored 4 or 5 goals when we got to our game. We had good looks. Just got to be ready from the get-go.
What did you see on that goalie interference call or non-call?
I didn't get a good look. I honestly, he bumped into him, and then I wasn't sure if he bumped into him again or what exactly they were looking at.
What was the feeling on the bench of what was going to happen? Was there a suspicion that it was going to be reversed? Or?
We never really know, to be honest. Coaches, I think, have a good look at the TV screen in the back there, but we never really know. Obviously, we saw him bump into him, and then we're not sure what the ruling is after that.
How do you think that changed the momentum after that 3rd goal was allowed?
I mean, yeah, it's not ideal. They got a power play after that, and just all around, can't really put it on that was the reason for it, but just all around wasn't wasn't where it needed to be for us.
Gene, is there any such thing as momentum in the playoffs? Because it feels like every game's kind of different, every game's back and forth. Is there such a thing as momentum?
Yeah, I mean, the little plays throughout a game, and there's momentum in periods. There's definitely momentum in games. Just, I think every game's a little bit different. They had it in the first two, and we had it in the third, obviously. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of getting your game, being consistent with it, staying with it, and when you got the puck more in the offensive zone, creating chances, that obviously builds momentum, and the next line's able to jump out and play with energy and play in the O-zone too.
Thoughts on this coming down to a 3-game series once again?
Yeah, good team, back and forth series. I had a feeling it was gonna. Both teams knew it wasn't going to be easy, so best 2 out of 3 now, and just regroup, get some rest, and get ready to go.
Best 2 out of 3 now. We've been here before. The Seattle Kraken will have to do it again. The good news, perhaps, is that we get 2 of those games, if it goes to 7, on the road starting tomorrow night. We will get into what to expect a little bit. But again, tomorrow is our game day episode. So everydayers, you're not going to want to miss that. And of course, I'll give you the details for our live watch party. We'll get into that coming up on this episode of Locked on Kraken. This episode of Locked on Kraken is brought to you by Game Time. Now, buying tickets to your favorite event should not be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for everything you need: sports, music, comedy, theater, you name it. You can add your location, find the tickets. You even get to see a glimpse, a snapshot of what your view will look like. No sitting behind foul poles or putting baby in the corner, because Game Time has got you covered. Here are some of the things that people are liking about the Game Time experience: flash deals and last minute ticket sales. You can find those right in the app. Mention the images of the seats. Easy to find and buy tickets of every kind, and the ticket comes right to your mobile device. You don't have to worry about scouring your email. So forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use Locked on NHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms will apply. But again, go to the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem the code Locked on NHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Welcome to the Wednesday episode of Locked on Kraken. The audio listeners, we love you. That's how we started. YouTube, hey, we're climbing, getting close to 700. It's been amazing to see the community grow as we do the live watch parties and get deeper into the depths of our first ever postseason run. And of course, we bring you your favorite team, the Seattle Kraken, every single day as a part of the Locked on Podcast Network, which you can find anywhere you listen to audio podcasts. On YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit notifications so you know when we go live. But you can also find the Seattle Kraken games, your favorite hometown broadcast, or the Locked on Kraken show now on Sirius SXM. All you have to do is search Kraken and you will find us. All right, Seattle Kraken fans, tomorrow. What are we expecting from tomorrow? We're going to expect a grind. I do like that Martin Jones got into this game. I thought he was serviceable, was the term that I used yesterday. And that's what you want. That's what you need. Get Philip Grubauer a little bit of rest. Don't think this was a Gruby issue. I think that Dallas just came out, wanted to hook and jab, and Seattle got caught on the back foot a little bit. You saw the surge and the charge a little bit in the third, but there's some things that we have to clean up. Do I think that having Jared McCann back impacted the chemistry? Yes, I do. Do I think that you maybe wanted to wait to bring McCann back? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think you need to get Jared McCann those repetitions. So That's critically important. Hey, Elijah, thanks for joining me live today. I love that you are going to be one of the fans that's going to Climate Pledge Arena because, yes, they are hosting a live watch party. I have good information that that's already sold out, but Elijah and his family are going to be there. So it is free, but as I understand, it is sold out. So we'll have to see if we get to game 7, maybe they'll do it again. But Elijah, you're absolutely right. They did do that. Those tickets went pretty fast from what I understand. There might be some media members in attendance because they did offer us, if we wanted to cover and watch the game live with everyone, we could do that. I'm in Chicago, so I won't be there, but I will be watching what? I will be watching live right here on YouTube. Once again, Elijah, I think that's so dope that you and the family are going to be there. Make sure you snap some pictures. I know John, who's been watching live with us, had an amazing setup at home to watch the Seattle Kraken take on Dallas. I love seeing your setups. I love seeing your seats. So make sure you tag at Locked On Kraken when you're at the game. Represent us well. Thanks so much, Elijah, for commenting. That is a super cool thing. And also, talked about this the other day, but the Coachella Valley Firebirds have advanced once again, and they too are hosting some live watch parties. Oh, here we go. We've got some of our YouTube friends here. I love what the Kraken have been doing for the community. I've said this before. This is a comment that I'm reading, I should say, quote, I love that what the Kraken are doing for the community. End quote. I agree. It's one of the reasons that I agreed to do this podcast with the Locked On network because of a lot of the things that the Seattle Kraken were doing in the community. So yes, that's going to be a super cool experience, but we will have our very own experience here. But to go back to my point, I think you needed to get Jared McCann his reps. I talked about it on our live watch party. He was playing a little bit more of a physical game because I don't think physically his lungs and his legs were ready just yet for a full game. But the only way you get ready for that level, that pace, is by playing. So while I do think there were some things energetically or with the chemistry on the team that were a little finagled, I think it was a combination of Dallas getting knocked in the teeth. Dallas got knocked in the teeth and they needed to get back on their game. Seattle had to adjust to some things, but you know what? I don't think it was our greatest performance. It wasn't our worst performance, in my opinion, and we definitely have some things that we can glean out and take forward into game number 5. We are the Road Warriors. We come out to play on the road. So I'm looking for big things. I think we're going to see Philip Grubauer again. The only way I'd say we don't see Gruby is if he feels he does need some rest. Maybe he tweaked something here or there. I don't get the sense that that is the case. So I do expect him to start, but Martin Jones at the ready. I would also be okay if Martin Jones gets the start. He has a short leash, maybe just to give Dallas a different look. I think that's okay. Maybe you say, hey, Jonesy, we're going to give you some time. It's going to be, we're going to keep it pretty tight, first 20 minutes or their first goal, and then you're out of there. I don't know how much you want to mess with the back and forth, then that gets a little bit dicey, but throwing Dallas off their game, I don't think is the worst idea in the world. But hey, they don't pay me to be the head coach of the Seattle Kraken. That's all Dave Haxtell, who, of course, is one of the finalists for Coach of the Year. So I'm going to let him do his thing. Overall, wipe this one clean on the road. Actually, Dave Haxtell will be talking to media in another hour or so, but I have a high school championship to get ready for, so I won't be there for that. But stay tuned here to Locked On Kraken, because when that video is available, we will post it. So if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, go ahead and do that and hit the notifications. That way you'll know anytime I post a new video. And of course, when we're going live, we're going to keep it nice and clean for today. A reminder, we're doing our watch party right here on YouTube. If you're not cool like Elijah and going to go catch the game on the Twins, I love that you put that in there. But you can come watch along with us. It's going to be a good time. I'm here in Chicago having fun with all the Kraken fans and Kraken Nation joining us here. But until tomorrow's episode, And until we upload everything, you know what I'll say. I say it every day. So the everydayers, you should know, be kind to yourself and to each other. And, actually, that comes from Jerry Springer, who passed away, about a week ago? But that's where I first got that. So be kind to yourself and to each other. And loud and proud, all in unison, tomorrow we say, let's go Kraken. That's right. It's playoff hockey, baby. And the Seattle Kraken are in the second round, going to game 5. We need all the good juju. I'll have the W hat. Some of you know what I'm talking about, at the ready tomorrow. Thank you so much. Don't forget, tomorrow is a game day episode. So join us right here on Locked On Kraken, whether you're listening on audio, whether you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.